Hi, my name is Rajan Singh, and I am the founder of HabitStrong and creator of this Zen productivity program. And I'm now going to do a quick walkthrough of this program so that you know exactly what happens in the program and how we deliver the outcomes that you're looking for. So if you are a senior professional, maybe you have worked in industry or the corporate world for say 10 years, it is quite likely that you have a very busy schedule, you work long hours, and sometimes you might be wondering, is it possible to flourish and succeed in your career and at the same time not sacrifice your personal life? And the answer is yes. And that is what Zen Productivity helps you accomplish. And here is how we do that. So let me quickly show you what the program looks like, how it accomplishes the outcomes. So as you can imagine, poor productivity does not come from one single cause. It comes from a network of different causes which are correlated and which are highly entangled. And therefore, what we offer is not a silver bullet solution, but a full and complete system which has 6 steps. So step 1 to step 6. It's a 6-step program that we're offering. And let me quickly show you what each of those steps are and how they all come together to help you live your life differently and change the way you approach work. So it starts with the welcome module where we explain to you what the program looks like, and then there is a pre-program diagnostic which will help you create a baseline. So before you start the program, you will have a good sense of where you stand right now. And at the end of the program, we will give you a post-program diagnostic so that you can compare and see for yourself what is the difference, what is the outcome that you have seen compared to where you stood before the program. All right. Then we have resources where you'll have all the exercise sheets that you can download. We'll give you an exact timetable. And roughly our recommendation is that you can complete this program in about 8 weeks. If you take a few weeks more, it's perfectly fine. But that's, if you want a general sense of how much time it takes, that should be helpful guidance. If you have any questions, you can ask me. By the way, I answer every single question. And if you're part of Zen Premium program, then we will be doing live Q&As, typically once a fortnight, which you can join as well. Before we get started, we have a module called the Foundation, where we are going to give you certain core ideas, which will help you understand and absorb what we are teaching after this. So among other things, we will also talk about the neuroscience of productivity. So there are 3 videos on this. So different aspects of neuroscience which impact productivity. Then we have a quiz, and then we explain how the program starts. And then after the foundation, the actual program, the 6 steps will start. The first step, as you can see, step 1A, it says adopt an easy system. And I'm talking about a task management system. That is obviously the first step for any productivity transformation. Now, what we do is we introduce a very simple but a very powerful system based on something called Kanban. Some of you might have heard this name. So Kanban comes from actually manufacturing. So Toyota production system, they used Kanban for their car manufacturing operations, and then it was used later for project management. And now we are bringing the same approach for your personal productivity. So it's a very visual, very simple system, but it beautifully works. It will take away all the overload from your mind. You'll be able to see how your work is flowing through your day and how you'll see it from going from to do to you start working, it goes to something called the doing column, then it gets done. So you will see a sense of progress visually. It's a very simple system, and we will give you different ways in which to implement. So we'll give you certain tools, we'll give you certain alternatives, and there are lots of other guidance that we are going to give in this module. As you can see, there are almost 22 lessons. There are 22 lessons in this. It's very, very exhaustive, and we try to take care of all kinds of scenarios, all kinds of confusion. And by the end of this module 1A, you will have a working Kanban system instead of a linear to-do list, which is not a very good way of managing a task. You will have something which is simple, easy, and very, very effective. So this is 1A. And 1B, which is part of step 1, is where you customize it to your needs. Now, this is a slightly shorter module. There are 9 lessons in this. And here we'll help you figure out how to fine-tune this. Now, when you have done module 1A and 1B, we will have something called checklist. This is something we do after every single step. We are going to give you a spreadsheet which will look something like this. So here, in case of step 1A and 1B, you will have what we call action items. So as you go through these lessons, we will be telling you to implement multiple ideas. We'll be giving you many tips and hints and so on. Now you may wonder, what if I forget? What if I don't remember? So do not worry. We have covered for everything. So here you have action items, it's like a checklist. This will make sure that you are not forgetting anything which is essential. Also, we will give you a bunch of questions that will help you assess whether you have achieved the efficacy that was intended, whether you have achieved the proficiency. And once you answer these questions, you will know whether you're ready to move to the next module or not. All right. So for 1A and 1B, you have the checklist and the action items, action item checklist, and also you have this efficacy check. Now, once you have done, at this point, you have completed step 1 of the 6 steps. By the way, at this point, you can get to this point, say in about 2 weeks' time. And at this point itself, within 2 weeks, once you've implemented your Kanban, you should be feeling, or you will be feeling, totally in control of your work. No matter how many to-dos you have, no matter what is happening, you will learn how to handle the workload. You will learn how to not get overwhelmed. You'll learn to be able to stick to the chosen tasks, not multitask. Whatever you start, take it to the finish line, complete things. And this itself will feel like a major achievement. Now, if you were to even stop the program right here, it would still be a dramatic change. You'll see a dramatic transformation in your life. Of course, we would ask you not to stop here, because as you go through each step by step, the impact will keep going higher and higher and higher. All right. So after step 1 comes step number 2, prioritization. Now, here, without getting into a lot of details, essentially, we will give you 2 approaches. One is called the bottom-up prioritization, other is called top-down prioritization. Then we explain each of them and help you implement those things. I even have a screencast where I'm doing this prioritization and showing it to you. And very, very critically and very importantly, many of these ideas people understand, but they do not really implement them. They don't do it on a day-to-day basis because they find them too cumbersome, impractical, and so on. So we give you very practical tips. We tell you how to practically implement them, and I am going to show you how I do it. And this will then become a daily thing for you, daily or frequent thing for you. All right. So at this point, once you have done the prioritization, then again, we'll give you a checklist, just like I showed the spreadsheet earlier for step 1A and 1B. When you get to this checkpoint, you can download the checklist for step 2 as well. And at this point, you have completed 2 out of the 6 steps. Now you have a very, very effective and simple task management system. You are prioritizing your tasks. So now let's talk about working on your top priorities. And how do you do most effective work? That is through deep work, and that is where the 3rd module comes in. Now here we explain deep work. We give you a very specific approach to doing deep work, which is doing focus sprints. We talk about it, we explain how to do it, and we even give you videos. Those are follow along videos. You can use these follow along videos to sit and do focused work. And most importantly, these ideas have to be implemented in the real world. When you have a lot of chaos going on, you're working with your colleagues, your stuff is happening at work. So we'll help you create a deep work plan. So you'll make a plan, and then you'll implement that plan, and that way it becomes something that you can do on a day-to-day basis in your practical life, in your current job. This is not a theoretical exercise. It is something that will actually change how you bring in deep work into your daily life. All right. Once you're done with that, now at this point, we are 3 out of 6. So next we talk about cutting down interruptions, because as you can imagine, interruptions are one of the biggest killers of productivity. So we explain how interruptions happen. We specifically talk about interruptions from emails and messages. And then we help you first is prepare an interruption inventory and then create an interruption handling plan. Now, these are, again, very practical things that you are going to do. And once you're done with that, you'll become much better and very effective in handling interruptions. By the way, we also have module 4B, which is for teams and companies, where, let us say, somebody who's in leadership position, if they want to change the environment in the company so that people are less interrupted, then here we have guidance for the leaders or for people or for teams who want to change the team environment itself. After that, we have this module, step 5, which is cutting meetings or cutting down meetings. Now, meetings are one of the biggest time wasters, and in most companies, there are too many meetings, poorly run meetings, too many people attending. They are not run effectively. They are not. There's no effective follow up, and so on. So, in this module, we help you change and transform the way meetings are conducted. And we know companies which have implemented these ideas, and they have seen dramatic improvement in the productivity, in stress levels, in work-life balance, and so on. Because meetings consume a lot of time, especially for mid and senior executives. That brings us to step number 6, which is mind training, where we give you specific meditation based exercises. We give you guided meditation tracks. So these are things that we ask you to do on an ongoing basis so that your mind becomes more attuned to staying focused. When you're done with all these 6 steps, now at this point, you have gone through the whole program, and then comes the conclusion, and then we have the post-program diagnostic. Once you take this diagnostic, you can see for yourself the massive change that you have gone through. By the way, you do not have to wait for this diagnostic. I can guarantee you will see the change in the second week itself once you complete module 1. However, this is for you to formally see and compare how you stand today compared to before you started the program. This is the whole program. In addition to that, we have these bonus modules, which will give you some additional useful things, which I think you'll find very, very useful and effective. So overall, here's what I want to tell you. This is one of the most exhaustive programs. In my opinion, you will probably not find a better structured or a more exhaustive program which helps you step by step with very precise guidance. And here we are not talking about productivity tips. We are not talking about hacks. We are calling it a solution, but I would say it is even more fundamental. We are giving you a new way to approach work such that you can get your work done much faster, much better, and hopefully instead of working 12 hours a day or 14 hours a day or even 10 hours a day, you will most certainly save a couple of hours every single day. So I welcome you to explore and experience this for yourself. And by the way, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. And as you go through this program, I'm always there to answer all your questions and make sure that every single need that you have is fully taken care of. Thank you for this, and I hope to see you in the program.